Well, hey, everybody. It is Monday night. You know what that means? It's Check In Monday. Grateful to have you joining us on tonight on this first Monday in the month of June. Can you believe it? It seems like we just came into 2025 and we're already at June, and in a few days, we'll be right in the middle of summer. The kids are out of school and lots going on, and so I like this time of year because usually I'm up taking my grandkids to school. Some of them are changing schools this year, so it's a delight to be able to get some rest in the morning. Don't have to wake up, and it's not a task that anyone that I have to do. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and so it's a part of what I do. But so grateful to have you with us on this Monday night, and I pray and trust that you've had a wonderful holiday on last Monday, which was Memorial Day, and then we were in St. Louis for the Women's Convention, me and Lady Martin, and had a great time there. Got back and had wonderful service yesterday. And this week I'll be traveling a little bit and then get back. So it's a little tight schedule this week, but it's okay. But again, grateful to have those of you that have joined me tonight. I see you. Thank you so much for joining me. I want you to do me a favor. Do this as we always do. Like, share, make comments, and do those things. Tonight, there's a lot going on. I just, before going to St. Louis, I had to eulogize a cousin that passed away just all of a sudden. It was on his way. He told his mother he's going to the store. And in a few minutes of him leaving the house, they came to get her, and they found him in the parking lot. And he had passed away. I think he was only at just turned 62, I believe. And there are a lot of people that are dealing with grief in this day, those that are dealing with so much that's going on. And maybe during the pandemic, when co-pastor's family was hit, she lost her mother in 2020, lost her oldest sister in 2021, and then in 2022 lost Sean. And I began to think about that and sit down and begin to do some of these lives. And from those lives came this book, Help, I'm Grieving, Dealing with the Process. And those of you that have not got it, you may have some loved ones that you know are going through things, that they're dealing with grief. Please go and order the book. I believe it'll be a blessing to those that you purchase it for. The topics in this book that I wrote is, Lord, I don't understand. I never thought I would be saying this right now. When the reality of it all sets in, give yourself time to grieve and heal. No one grieves the same way. Monitor your progress towards your healing, learning how to adjust. And then don't let your grief turn into anger. Don't blame yourself. And the worst thing you can say when people are grieving, and then the conversation no one wants to have. You can get this. You can still order it. You can get it there. On my website, dlmartin.org. You can get it there, or you can go to Amazon and get it, and it's only $14.95. If you don't need it, get it for somebody else, buy it for somebody else, share it with the loved ones. I had someone to call me and said, I'm buying the whole box of them because I need to be able to share them with others. And so by all means, take the information, get your book, get a book for someone, and it certainly would be a blessing to them as you get the book. Lord, help, I'm grieving, dealing with the process. tonight I want to talk very brief as we are in this season, as we are making transition over into summer and kids are out of school and things are going on. And so tonight I want to talk about paying attention or pay attention tonight. Today, of course, the world is filled with so much that's going on, and distractions are everywhere, and it becomes easy in this season and in this day that we live in. Excuse me, when we look at the news and social media, we see people getting scammed. I was looking at somewhere someone got taken for like $6,000 the other day. A simple scam that they did not pay attention to an app until after the thing had taken place, and then you got people that at working different areas in the stores and the service stations. You got people that are taking over homes that become squatters that don't live there, actually taking over people's homes. And sometimes it is because sometimes we don't pay attention to our surroundings. We don't pay attention to what's going on. But I say to you that we must pay attention, and I want you to hear this, in every area of our lives. We need to pay attention in every area and in everything that's going on around us, even things that are connected to us that we may not pay attention to like we should. We should pay attention to it every day. And I'm talking about in every area. You can name an area tonight that you know you need to pay attention to or pay attention in. What do you mean? Well, you got to pay attention in the marketplace. You got to pay attention in church. You got to pay attention in the workplace. It is just some. I know some people, they feel, well, I need to pay attention in that area, but not so much in that area. But I'm here to tell you, you need to pay attention in every area. Everything that's connected to you, you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention when it comes to the marketplace. In the marketplace, people are doing things, and if you're not paying attention, they'll get you. I remember one morning I was taking my granddaughter Madison to school, and we stopped by the store, the corner store, and I know I gave her a certain amount of money, and she went in and she got the items, and when she came back, she gave me the change, and I said to her, I said, where's the rest of the change? She said, that's what he gave me, and I didn't fault her, but I went back in the store, and I said to the guy, I said, my granddaughter was in here, and you did not give her the right change. And he was trying to act like he didn't understand. I said, no, I gave her a $20 bill, and I need you to give me my change. So he's like, oh, I just made a mistake. And he reached in and got the rest of the money. But if I hadn't been paying attention, he would have got by with it. And so even in the marketplace, you've got to pay attention when you go to get stuff, buy stuff. Some people will shortchange you. Some people will do things. And so you have to pay attention even in the marketplace. Now, here's another place you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention in church. Now, I know somebody say, well, I don't need to pay attention to church. Yes, you do. Because everyone that's in church does not come for the right reasons or the proper things, and you need to pay attention. Sometimes you got to pay attention who's sitting next to you. You got to pay attention who sits behind you, who sits in front of you, who anything. You just got to pay attention, because there's some people that while you are getting your praise on, while you're doing your stuff, there's some people that go through people's pocketbooks. There's some people that reach over and get phones and do a lot of stuff. So you have to pay attention even in church. You have to pay attention who's coming through the doors. I know we are so caught up. We're grateful to have guests. We're grateful to have people to come in, but you still got to pay attention to who comes in the doors. There was one church, the pastor was paying attention to who came in the door, the people wasn't. And these young men came in the door, and he went over to talk to them and to pray for them. And what they discovered is these young men had just left a location and robbed somebody and killed someone. and they came into church. Who knows what they may have been up to? But my point is, you got to pay attention when you go even into church. Then you have to pay attention in the workplace. You can't just take for granted that I'm in the workplace, I'm safe. You got to pay attention to what's in the workplace, who's coming in, who's there, how they're acting, what kind of. You just got to pay attention to those things. When we don't pay attention, and I'm not going to be long tonight, when we don't pay attention, the things that happens to us is we suffer the consequences of being distracted and not paying attention. Sometimes we suffer the consequences of not paying attention. And you got to be careful of that. You don't pay attention and get distracted, and not paying attention, and those things can be devastating to us when we don't pay attention. Sometimes we have to admit, all of us have been there where we didn't pay attention to something and it cost us for not paying attention. We had a great loss, or something came up, or something that we had worked hard for. We didn't pay attention and we end up with losing stuff, because paying attention must be done before you get into certain places or certain circumstances. And it's got to be before, because in an instance, like for an instance, you can go to the gas station and you don't pay attention, and before you pull off or pull there, you need to pay attention of where you're going. I was sharing with this in service yesterday. We were pulling into a service station, and there were some young guys. They were just looking very suspicious. And Lady Martin said to me, I think we should go to the next station. And so we bypassed that station and went to the next station, because they have those that sometimes sit around and they're waiting to see you get out the car. They follow you. Even when you, ladies, when you're in the marketplace and you go to your car, you have to be careful that those that are in the parking lot are not parked too close to you, of white vans and stuff where they can get you before. Look at your car to see if they tag you by putting little things on your car. And so we have to pay attention to things that are around us. When you're pumping gas, you got to pay attention, because some things can happen in the blink of an eye. It can be so quick that if you don't pay attention, you can lose stuff, or just things get away from you, and being distracted and doing those things, being distracted with phones, being distracted with other things. Some things require us putting things down to pay attention to that particular thing. Sometimes you got to put stuff away to pay attention to that particular thing. And I have to admit, sometimes I've been guilty of not putting things down, or doing things, or looking at my phone, and then someone walk up on you, and good thing they are not always bad intentions, but sometimes if you're not paying attention, sometimes you can be in that moment where you lose some stuff. So we need to pay attention. One of the things we need to pay attention to is we need to learn to pay attention to people, places, and things. All right? I'm going to say that again. We need to learn to pay attention to people, places, and things. Oh, brother, I hear you. Brother Charles says, amen. Well, you know, here in New York, we have to know our surroundings and environment 24/7. Correct. You have to do that. You have to be able to do that. I remember when I traveled to New York years ago, they had already told us, if you don't live in New York, if you get lost, act like you know where you're going. Pay attention and act like you know where you're going. And that's what I would do. If I got lost, if I went downtown, I didn't just go asking everybody what things was. I didn't go down the alley. No. I act like I knew where I was until I could get my bearings. And if I would go and buy something at the store and come back, because everyone basically drives on the train, I would get on the train and come back, and no stopping and talking. No, I would get going, because you have to pay attention to people, places, and things. Why you say people and places and things? I'm saying you got to pay attention to people. because everyone you see is not in that frame of mind to do right. And I know some of you, watch this. I know some of you befriend everybody. You think everybody's okay, but everybody is not okay. So you have to pay attention. You have to learn to be able to discern and be able to see people. And you need to know to pay attention to people. Pay attention to what they say. Pay attention to their conversation. Pay attention to their body language. All right. I hope I'm helping. Pay attention to what they say. Sometimes you can just listen at people and you can tell some is a little bit to the left. And then sometimes you pay attention to people's body language and you can tell by their body language, some may not be flowing right. And you have to pay attention to that. And I'm saying to you tonight, in this season, pay attention to people. Pay attention to people. Then you got to pay attention to places. Every place is not a place for us to frequent. Every place is not a place for us to go. I don't care. There's some places I just don't go. It's not because even if the food is good, it may be good. There's some places I don't go. It's the neighborhood. I don't go because of the neighborhood. I don't go because of where it's located. And so I learned that if my safety is at stake, there's some places I just don't go. And you have to learn there's some places you can't go. I mean, it's just a fact. Some places you have to watch the place that you go. Pay attention. And if you go, pay attention to when you walk in. Pay attention to your surroundings. Of course, this elevation and when I go to church, to services, I have on this the cross and the chain and everything. But you know what I do? When I get in the car, when I pull up to the store or wherever, I'm not trying to let them know, oh, I'm the bishop. No, I take that stuff off. And even, that ring, those things are expensive. I take that thing off and put it in the pocket because I don't want to give anybody an opportunity to think that they can come and just snatch some off my neck and go to running. So I'm aware of the place I'm in, and you have to pay attention to the place that you're in. People, places, and things. You got to watch it. Some of you, I know you like flashing stuff. Don't go to the store flashing stuff. Before you get out the car, pull the card you're gonna use out, and don't wait in there and pull out the whole wallet with all your cards showing. Don't go in there flashing a whole thing of money. It may be ones, but they don't know it's ones. Be careful of people, places, watch those, and things. You got to be careful of the things people present to you, the things people give you. Just because it looks good don't mean you should take it, because now they lace the things with different things that can get you off and dizzy. You shouldn't be accepting just anything, water and drink and anything from people. And I'm gonna tell you something else, and I know this might not sit good with some of you, but you shouldn't, you shouldn't be going to everybody's house to eat, especially if you don't know them. They're not relatives. They're not people you know. You just shouldn't do that. You gotta watch of things people give you. Sometimes you never know what's in there, and we found that out, of course, when they used to deal with Halloween. We don't celebrate it, but when they would put things in the children's candy, because you don't know what people are placing and putting in there. So I'm telling you tonight, if you don't remember anything else I'm saying, remember this: learn to pay attention to people, places, and things. People, places, and things. Just know there's some people I pay attention to more than others. Then there's some people not only do I pay attention to, but I pay attention to the places I frequent, the places I go. If I'm not comfortable there, I don't care what they got going on, I'm not going. Okay? Then you be careful of things. You don't accept everything from everybody. We teach our grands that. We taught our children that. just because they give you some, don't accept it. You never know what people are giving you. You just can't. And then when it comes to food, you just can't. When I go to eat, I'm watching my stuff, and then you watch your stuff, and then let me say this. Let me just throw this in. I don't like going out to eat with a lot of people. I don't like going out to eat with a lot of people that are people that's always complaining at the table. They didn't do this. My food ain't right. I know sometimes they get it wrong, but I don't like, because you sending food back and stuff, you don't know what they doing in the back with your food. Just chill. I don't like that, because that's dangerous. I remember there was a preacher that was a prophet. He went to, he was out eating, and they brought his food and he sent it back, but they brought his food, and he had his head bowed. He lifted up his head and he said, "Why did you do that?" And the waitress said, What do you mean?" He said, "Why did you put that stuff in my food?" And she was startled. She was like, he said, I saw you put it in my food. I saw it in a vision right here at this table. You put some stuff in my food. And the lady broke and confessed, and he prayed for her, and she got saved. You just can't do it. Don't eat everybody's food. Don't go everywhere. All right? Let's look at a few things, and I'm going to move on with this, that can definitely get you distracted and cause you not to pay attention. First thing is, being on your cell phone can definitely distract you where you will not pay attention. All of us got to be honest that we have been distracted one time or another, or more times, on our cell phone and didn't pay attention to stuff. Whether you were driving, whether you were in church, whether you were just walking. I've seen people walk and fall into a manhole because they weren't paying attention. Seen people walk, texting and walking into a pole, weren't paying attention. It causes a distraction, and so you have to watch that. Then you have to understand that just being there on the phone can cause that distraction where you're not paying attention. Number two, here's some we got to watch out for, ladies. You have to watch out for this, and men. I know you're hungry and you don't want your food to get cold, but sometimes it's best to get home and eat your food than sit in the parking lot or go somewhere and sit in a place that you say, well, it's a whole lot of people around here. Sometimes it's just best not to do it, because sometimes sitting in your car and parking in the parking lot, whether you at home or in the marketplace, you can be there texting, you can be talking on the phone, or you can be eating and not paying attention, and people can run up on you before you know it. You should always try not to be just sitting in your car and just, even if you back in, you should always be looking at, and if I don't back in, I'm constantly looking in my rearview mirror and my side mirrors and those that are coming in front of me. Because it's a danger when you are sitting there. And I stress this sometimes to my daughters, and not to sit in your cars. When you pull up in the driveway at home, get out the car. Look at the rest around you, but get out the car and get in the house. If you go to get something to eat, don't go get home. You ain't got to park in the parking lot of the restaurant and say, well, a lot of people around here. There have been more people that have been some done to with a lot of people there, because the other people are distracted themselves. They're not paying attention to you. So you have to get up and you have to get out of there. And so you have to do that. Another thing, when it comes to driving, when you're driving home or driving to work, you're not paying attention. If someone is following you and turning the same time you do, and they're right behind you, or you're in the supermarket and every aisle you on, someone is on that aisle, or you got people following you down the street, you got to pay attention. I said on yesterday, when I'm in the car, if I'm driving and the car's behind me, and especially if I'm coming into my neighborhood and the car's following me, and every turn I make, they make, I don't turn into my driveway. I don't get into the driveway right then. I will wait and pass my driveway and wait till they go and make a different turn. Then I'll come right around the block and pull in the driveway because I don't know if they're following me. I can't assume that they're just in the neighborhood because there have been people that have followed people to their house. And as soon as they let the garage up or whatever, they jump out the car and run in behind them. And so we have to pay attention. Same thing when you're going to work. When you're parking at work, whether it's in a parking deck, pay attention to stuff. When you're at the grocery store, pay attention to where you park. And I have a thing that I do when I go to the store, especially if they've got numbers on the lanes. I do this. I look and see where I'm parked. If I'm parked in number 10, or if I'm parked in number 8, I've got a habit of doing that so I'll know where I'm parked. So when I get out, I won't be all over the place trying to find my car. And if I can't find it, I take my remote on the keys and hit the alarm thing and the thing will go off. And so we do that, but just making sure I'm parking in the right place or whatever, and not parking, ladies, not parking next to suspicious things, vans and things that look like people can come in and they can abduct you, or people putting things on your car. When somebody leaves some of my car, usually I try to move it out with caution, use something else to move it out, a piece of tissue or whatever. If someone looked like they dropped money, they've had it where people have gotten and taken people. When they pick up money, they've laced it with something. So you have to be very careful of what you're doing. And so pay attention to all this stuff, where you turn, where you park, where you at in the supermarket, who's behind you, who's following you. Pay attention. When you get out the car, in the driveway, when you go into the garage, they've been people that when the garage went up, people jump out cars and run in behind them. Be careful when you're doing all those type of things, and be careful when you've got your kids and they're surrounded. I've never understood how parents would let their children go out, even if you're home, and play in the yard, especially if it's not a fenced yard, and play in the yard by themselves. I don't care what time of day it is. Just play out in the yard, just out there, and they 4 and 5 and 6 years old, and even teenagers. You never know who's gonna drive by real quick and try to entice them and grab them and put them in the car. And so you have to pay attention. Me and my grandson King went to the store last night, and I had him on leash. I tell you, I said, you stay with me. And he told me when he got to the supermarket, he said, Papa, I got a buggy. He said, Papa, I don't want to get in the buggy. I can walk. I said, okay, well, you're going to stay with me wherever you walk. And I had him grabbing onto the buggy and everything because I didn't want anything to happen. And being mindful of where he was, because people, whether you believe it or not, people go to the store to abduct kids. Get them by the hand and walk right out the door with them. And you have to be very careful. And so paying attention, doing those things, it's vital. Let me finish with this, and let me tell you why it's important, why we should pay attention. And I got 3 things to tell you, and I'm done. Why we should pay attention. Number 1, people are not looking out for you, so you have to look out for yourself. I don't care how crowded the place is. People are not looking out for you. I've seen people get robbed in a crowded place. Things stole from them in a crowded place because people are not looking out for you. You got to look out for yourself. That's number 1. You got to pay attention and you got to look out for yourself. Very important that you do that. Very important that you look out for yourself. Very important that you make sure that you are looking out your surroundings, where you are. Look out for yourself. You got to learn that wherever I am, I've got to learn to look out for myself, whether it's, and I say this, look out for yourself in every place, not just a few places. And let me tell you something else. You got to look out for yourself even in the place you may feel comfortable in. Still got to look out for yourself. I know it's comfortable, but still look out. Still pay attention. Still make sure that you're doing what you need to do, and pay attention and look out for yourself. When I used to travel a lot, we stayed in hotels, and they would sometimes put you in a hotel where they had food service, but then they would put you sometimes where they didn't have food service when you got out of church, and there may be a Waffle House or something down the street and all that stuff. And sometimes in my younger days, now I probably wouldn't do it now. In my younger days, I would leave the room and go out and go down and get some food and then walk back to the hotel. This day is the day I just wouldn't do that. I get something, y'all stop me, let me get something, take it back to my room. I'm gonna tell you something that happened to me one time, and this is the truth. I was in revival in Florida, and while I was there, I was staying up on what floor it was? I think it was the 5th or 6th floor of the. It was a motel, I think, motel. And so I went downstairs after service to the drink machine to get. I went down to the drink machine to get a soda, and I got in there with some young ladies. There's about 4 or 5 young ladies there, and they said, "Hey," I said, "Hey, how y'all doing?" And I got my drink and went back up to my room. Within about 5 minutes, these young ladies came and knocked on my door. And of course, the hotel has those things where you can. And so I said, "Who is it?" And they said something. So I cracked the door a little bit, and they were like, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm fine, and you?" And they was like, "Are you by yourself?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "But do you want some company?" I said, "No." They said, "You sure you don't want no company?" I said, "I'm positive," and closed the door. I don't know what they were up to, but you got to pay attention. I paid attention to them when they were down, and so when they came up, it was not something that it was a thing that they were going to get anything, because I was paying attention. I was in another place in North Carolina, and the guy knocked on the door. Now watch this. This is not at night. This is in the middle of the day. So a Caucasian guy knocked on the door, and so I said, "Well, who is it?" And I forgot what he said. So I did the thing, cracked the doors, said, "Yes, may I help you?" And he was like trying to see if anybody else was in the room or whatever. And he was starting mentioning something about a belt. I said, "Well, I can't help you." And he said something. So, I said, "Have a good day." And I closed the door. You got to watch out for yourself. You got to look out for yourself, because some people, watch this, and I'm going to say this. You got to look out for yourself and pay attention for yourself, because some people are working in cahoots. They're together, and they can get you distracted looking at one thing while they're doing something else. So you have to pay close attention. Number 2, you have to pay attention that so it can move you out of harm's way. Because sometimes when you don't pay attention, you can be in harm's way. And I'm talking about anything, whether you're driving. Sometimes you can be driving, you can see people driving crazy. Don't engage them. Sometimes you got to move yourself out of harm's way. It's best to slow down, pull on the side, move out the way, than to put yourself in harm's way. Sometimes you got to do that. You have to know when to engage stuff, when not to engage it, when to move yourself out of harm's way, when to move your family out of harm's way, when to move your kids out of harm's way. You got to pay attention to what's going on. What type of atmosphere, what type of mood is in, what's going on in this area, and you've got to learn to do that. And so I say to you tonight, learn to pay attention. If you don't learn anything, if you don't hear anything else I say, this is the season. You got to pay attention, and you got to do it. Last thing I want to tell you is paying attention and having discernment is one of the greatest things you can have in this season of your life. Paying attention and having discernment is one of the greatest things you can have in this season of your life. Believe me, it will help you. It will keep you from danger. It will keep you from harm. It will keep you from people's plans and intentions to harm you if you pay attention. if you just pay attention. You need discernment. You need to know, you need to ask God to tell you why someone is doing what they're doing. What is their motive? What is their purpose? Why are they doing that? Once you find those things out, once God deals with you about those things, then you'll be able to do that. I've often shared with you that years ago I met an entertainer and his family, and the person that introduced me to them, these people were very known, great entertainers in the entertainment industry. And I met them. They gave me their number and everything. And one night, we were out of town. We were in revival in Memphis. And one evening, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I went to sleep. And in a dream, the Lord showed me this person. And I thought nothing about it, but it continued in the dream that not only did he show me the person, but like a neon sign blinking, he showed me what they were about, and it was flashing over their head. It was just blinking. So when I got up, the person that introduced me to them, I called them. And when I called them, I said to them, you know, I just had a dream about these people. I said, and I asked them point blank of what was blinking. I asked them, is that the case? And they said to me, yeah, it is the case. How would you know that? I said, the Lord revealed it to me in a dream just a few minutes ago. Paying attention and having discernment is one of the greatest things you'll have going for you in this season. Because if you do it, you can tell God, I don't want to be tricked. I don't want people to get over on me. I don't want people to do things. Help me to pay attention. Help me to know where I am, what's around me. Pay attention to people, places, and things. Help me to understand what's my environment. Help me to know all the stuff that's going on around me on the job. If somebody coming and acting crazy, that's my time to take a break. I need to take a break up out of here because I don't know what they about to do. You got to do it. I know sometimes we like running too, and this is true. We were in New York. My uncle was ministering. He ministered to a guy one night, and he ministered to him to pray for him for his safety. And the guy, something happened. Somebody got in an argument or something next door across the hall from them. And he heard this racket, and so he went out there, and he ended up getting killed because he ran to what he heard. I know sometimes we don't pay attention. We run to we run to the commotion or the noise, but sometimes it's best to run away from it because you never know what's going to happen. When we were in the store last night, and they were arresting some young lady at the door, and she was just kicking and screaming, and I had my grandson with me, King, and we just left on out there and went straight on out to our car. Now, I know there would have been a time. I ain't going to lie to you. There'd have been time I'd have waited right there to see what the outcome is going to be. I can't tell you what the outcome is going to be because I left and went out of there. So you have to be able to pay attention. Another thing that I've shared with y'all before, and I'm going to share with you tonight, I was in Las Vegas. This is about paying attention. I was in Las Vegas running revival years ago, and I was on my way, I think, into the hotel or coming out of it, and there was a Caucasian lady that was standing there, and she was intoxicated. She was messed up. And so when I came out, she stopped me, and she said, "Can you help me find my room key? I think it's in my pocketbook." And when she opened the pocketbook, it was filled with money. I'm not talking about no play money. She had $100 bills and everything in there, and she wanted me to reach in there and find her hotel key. So I said, "Wait right here." I went into the lobby, found the security, explained to them what had happened. And I said to the security guy, I said, you go and you help her to find her key because I'm not putting my hand in her bag. Because I don't know if she's really drunk, but probably as soon as I put my hand in that bag, she gonna go to screaming about something. And I'm not gonna be stuck here in Vegas in jail. And he started laughing. He said, I feel you. I said, you better know it. Sometimes you got to pay attention to stuff so much that you got to be like, can't do that one. Even when people asking for help, sometimes people talking about, help me. That could be a ploy. You know, if I don't know people, can I call somebody on your phone? No. Nope. Can't do it. I don't. It's so much going on out here. You got to pay attention. I mean, you really have to pay attention. And I reiterate it again. Church, marketplace, because I know a lot of you on here, you don't think you got to pay attention in church. Just dance and shout. No. Pay attention. I said to them yesterday, and I meant what I said. I can give you a change for $1 and still give him praise at the same time, because I am not so caught up in the spirit that I don't know what my surroundings are. My grandmother would be praising God and come right over there where I'm cutting up and pop me and keep on dancing. Somebody said, no, watch and pray. You got to know what's going on. You got to know what's going on. You got to pay attention to stuff. And if you don't pay attention to it, you know, sometimes we got to look out for our children, our grandchildren. Sometimes they're young and they don't have the to pay attention like we do. Sometimes we got to look out for them. We got to say, no, don't go that way. Don't do that. Come over here. Stay this way. You got to do that. Sometimes you got to pay attention for others that may not understand the importance of you paying attention. And you have to pay attention. I mean, and I do it all the time. I am, you know, my grandkids, they go with me. They know it's a tight wrap. Paying attention. Wherever I'm looking at you. You go into the door, why you at the door? Who told you to open that door? Paying attention. You know, if I'm getting out the car, if they with me at the store, everybody's getting out. I know that they, you know, one is 12 and the other's 10, and I got all that. But when I get out, everybody get out. I don't have nothing to run in there quickly for, to leave them in the car. You going with me, because it ain't gonna be on my watch that somebody come along and do something. Well, we can stay in the car. No, y'all can't. Y'all better come on out of here. Because I've seen enough and paid attention to enough of what people do. And so we have to pay attention. Now, I pray and trust you got some out of this tonight. I pray that it has helped you in some kind of way. Don't forget what I told you. Pay attention to people, places, and things. Keep your eyes on it. Watch, pray, look. You know, make sure you're doing what you need to do. And I believe that this will help you. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. It has been my pleasure and my joy to have y'all with me tonight. I see you. Thank you so much for joining and just being a part of this tonight and sharing. God bless you. Let me see who all's on here. Let me see. I want to mess up y'all names. Shaw, Sister Fikes, Sister Ellis, Sister Cunningham, Brother Owens, Sister Moore, Boo, Sister Johnson, let's see, Ivan, let's see, Potts, I think that's what that is. You know, I need to go get my eyes checked, y'all. It's time for my checkup. I'm going to get them checked. as soon as I get back. Sister Karen, I see you. Brother Benjamin, see you. Let's see. Sister Barkley, see you. All right. Thank y'all so much for joining. Appreciate you. Do me a favor, share this with someone and whatever. Now, I don't do this, but let's see. Here it is. Here it is. I don't know where it is. I don't know what side it's on. Here we go. This thing got me. Okay, here we go. If you want to be a blessing and send something on, some people always ask, Pastor Martin or Bishop Martin, can we do something, send you something? There it is. You see my Cash App, $ DLMSR. If you want to send something, be a blessing. Whatever you send, we would appreciate it. This is not a charge. I just love doing this. So do something and be a blessing if you can. The Lord bless you. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Yes, let's see Dr. Crum. See General Baxter here. Sister Adams. Yeah. Thank y'all so much for following and being a part of what I do on Monday nights. Now, those of you, if you want to join me tomorrow night for Bible study, I do Bible study on Tuesday nights at 7. Our check-in Mondays is first and third Mondays, but on tomorrow, it's the third. I will be doing Bible study at 7 p.m. I'll be here sharing, and if you want to be a part of that, please do that. If you don't get the notifications for it, you can do a notification. Let me see. Right here, you can text the word DLM, or you can text the word connect to 833-675-6263, and you'll be placed where you can get notifications for whenever I come live. Just in case I'm coming live at a time, you can do that. Again, here we go. Don't forget, get your book. A lot of people are going through, it's a season where so much is happening and people are passing away. This book will be a blessing to you, to whoever you give it to. Help me. Help I'm Grieving, Dealing with the Process. You can get it online. You can get it at my website, dlmartin.org, or you can get it on Amazon. It's $14.95. Order your copy or order it from somebody. It'll be a blessing. Lord, I don't understand. No one grieves the same way. Learning how to adjust. Give yourself time to grieve and to heal. I guarantee you it'll bless your life and be a blessing to you. And so I want you to do that on tonight. Get it and share it with someone. All right? The Lord bless you, and I pray that all of God's choice blessings can be yours. Let me make sure. All right. I pray that all of God's choice blessings will be yours. Have a wonderful evening.